An 8-year-old girl asked a profound question that stunned a packed town hall into silence. It led Donald Trump to share a deeply personal story of faith, loss, and redemption, one that left everyone in tears. It was a calm evening in Shreveport, Louisiana. The church fellowship hall, usually lively with Sunday potluck chatter, carried a more somber mood. Folding chairs scraped against the polished floor as soft murmurs filled the air. At the front stood Donald Trump, his larger-than-life presence noticeable even in the modest space. But tonight his demeanor felt different, quieter, as though he understood the weight of the moment. The crowd was a mix of locals, families, retirees, and curious residents. Among them was a small figure, not remarkable for her size but for the quiet determination she exuded. 8-year-old Lily, dressed in her best Sunday dress, clutched an old worn Bible to her chest. It had once belonged to her late grandmother. Before arriving, her mother had softly told her, "You can ask your question, but only if you truly mean it." Lily had been preparing for this moment for weeks. She had scribbled notes in her notebook during recess and rehearsed her question every night. It wasn't just curiosity driving her, it was something deeper, a question with weight far beyond her years. As Trump spoke about policies and accomplishments, polite claps and nods punctuated the room. But with every passing moment, Lily's grip on her Bible tightened. When the floor opened for questions, adults lined up first, asking about local issues, policies, and even complimenting Trump's signature red tie. Lily hesitated. Her heart pounded so loudly she was sure others could hear it. A gentle nudge from her mother gave her the courage to rise. As she stepped forward, her small frame and oversized Bible caught the crowd's attention. Curious whispers spread through the hall. When her turn came, Trump's expression softened. "What's your question, young lady?" he asked gently. Lily's voice quivered, but her words rang clear. "Mr. Trump, what does God mean to you?" The room fell silent. Her question hung in the air, heavy and profound. Trump, known for his quick responses, paused. His gaze moved from Lily to the worn Bible in her hands, and his expression shifted. "That's a big question," he began, his voice calm yet thoughtful, "and it's not something I've always had an easy answer for." He recalled a childhood memory, sitting in church pews and wondering if God was truly listening. His father had once told him faith was like a ladder. You climb it, unsure if it will hold, but you keep going because there's something worth reaching for. At the time, young Donald hadn't understood, but as life unfolded, with its trials and losses, he learned faith wasn't about having all the answers. It was about trusting in a greater purpose. Lily listened intently, her grip on the Bible relaxing just a little. Trump shared how he'd struggled with doubt and anger at God, especially after losing his brother Fred. These experiences, he explained, had shaped his understanding of faith as a guiding force during uncertain times. The crowd was captivated. Turning back to Lily, Trump said, "To me, God is that purpose. He's why we keep climbing, even when the way is hard." Lily's eyes shimmered, and she whispered, "My grandma always said God listens, even when we don't hear him." Trump's expression softened further. "Your grandma sounds like a very wise woman," he replied, and she was absolutely right. The atmosphere in the hall shifted. What had started as an ordinary town hall became a deeply emotional moment. Strangers exchanged glances and smiles, united by Lily's courage and Trump's honest reflections. Trump continued, sharing another story about how he'd once felt completely lost during a pivotal moment in his business career. He had nearly given up when an old friend reminded him of the importance of prayer. "It wasn't about asking for help," Trump said. "It was about finding the strength within myself to keep going." That's what faith does. It lights the way when everything else seems dark. Lily's question had opened a floodgate of emotions in the room. One by one, other attendees shared their own struggles with faith, loss, and redemption. A woman spoke about losing her husband and finding comfort in prayer. An elderly man recounted his experience of surviving a war, holding on to a small Bible that had been his mother's. Their stories wove together like threads, creating a tapestry of shared humanity. Trump listened intently, nodding as each person spoke. "This is what makes us strong," he said. "Our faith, our stories, and our ability to come together." As the evening wrapped up, Trump left the crowd with a parting thought. Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about believing, even when we're unsure. And if something tonight touched your heart, hold on to it. Let it grow. The room erupted in applause, but the real change was in the connections forged that night. Strangers left as friends, carrying the warmth of shared vulnerability and hope. As Lily walked out with her mother, she looked up and asked, "Do you think Grandma would be proud of me?" Her mother smiled, her eyes misty. "She'd be amazed, sweetheart. Absolutely amazed." That night, Shreveport didn't just witness a town hall. It experienced a revival of faith and unity. And at the heart of it was an 8-year-old girl with a simple question that reminded everyone of the power of belief. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to reflect on what faith means to you. Share it with someone who might need to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one.